Welcome to all staff briefing and well done for connecting. That's always a really good start, particularly with online. We do have a full agenda today and we will have the opportunity for you to have question and answers at the end. So please feel free to fire these questions into the document and Amy will be monitoring those questions so we can answer them for you. Before I pass over to Brenton, there's a couple of acknowledgements that I would like to make. First of all, in the weekend we had that terrible, horrific weather, and I would like to pay tribute to the fantastic maintenance team who turned that around and had our grounds beautifully cleaned up. So thanks very much to the maintenance team. And a couple of other shout outs to the Performing Arts team, led by Stephen Morton-Jones. It's been so great to see students involved in the production and also what you have up and coming for those students. So thank you so much for continuing in these really difficult situations to be able to provide opportunities for our students. And the sports department, you have done a phenomenal effort to take Athletics Day how it typically has been and to run these challenges after school, and still with records being broken and students fronting up in a real cool team spirit that you've been able to do for our students. So thank you so much for having these events, and we know our students really appreciate having these opportunities, and it was only yesterday where a family came in and said to me that it's the opportunities that they love at St Peter's. So Performing Arts and Sports, thank you so much, and you're such a critical part of our school and for our students. And just while I'm on the note of sports, tomorrow, period 2, the 3,000 metre students who are competing may be a little bit late to class. We're starting in the morning, but those do tend to go for a period. So please, a heads up that we will try and get those races done as fast and as efficiently as possible, but there may be some students late to period 2 tomorrow. So that's all on my list, and I would like to hand over to Brenton Joubert, followed by Gerard and then Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. And just to add my thanks to those already expressed by Jess, and especially to every single staff member. We know these are trying times. We don't know what you're coping with and what you're managing, both in your personal capacity and you're at work, but do want to extend our thanks to each and every single one of you. Thank you very much. Now, I don't know what frustrates you about this pandemic. Heather and I were talking on the weekend, and we really enjoy travel and are missing travel. So we undertook that when the pandemic ends, we're going to treat ourselves and travel. And we've got this a world map mounted on our fridge door, and we've got a little magnetic dart. And I said to Heather, look, you throw the dart and we'll go to wherever that dart lands. Now, please don't share this with Heather, but it looks like we've got 2 weeks behind the fridge to look forward to once the pandemic is over. Now, I don't know if you can do better than that, but I think humour is an important part of trying to negotiate what we challenged with at this time. And I know Teresa Taylor is looking forward to receiving your emails and sharing bits of humour which we can then share with the rest of staff. So now into the less important stuff. Just a couple of quick notices. Our Term 1 Open Day, scheduled for March 11, won't be taking place. Partly this is because we've got a record number of advanced applications we still need to process. So we're still looking like we're in really good shape for next year. At this stage, our intention is to proceed with our Term 2 Open Day. And then just to give you some feedback on our educational ethos project, and we've been connecting with you at various stages on how that's going. We were able to present to the board just before Christmas, and the board are truly excited by some of the themes that are coming through. And by and large, those themes are not a surprise to anyone. Those are the things that we know to be true about our organisation, that holistic education, body, mind, spirit, innovation. All of those things are emerging. We're going to continue going to phase 2 of that project this term, and we'll be looking to reconnect as we analyse and synthesise the information we've got, looking to reconnect with our interest groups and our staff and student groups as well. We need to keep that momentum because essentially that project is informing the recruitment process for a new principal. We're likely to see an ad come out at some stage later on in the term, And it's this project that is going to set some kind of parameter around that. Essentially, we're looking for a principal to partner with what we've identified as our essential ethos, our purpose, our strategy. We're not looking for someone to come in and reinvent the wheel. And when I say come in, that doesn't necessarily exclude any internal applicant from looking to get into that kind of position. So there'll always be lots of speculation. That process will probably unfold during the year. So important for us just to keep our firm focus on providing the best we can for our students and really taking care of one another. So thanks everyone. Look forward to reading what Teresa puts together, some of your best attempts at humour. Now I'm not sure, Jess, who's up next? Okay, Gerard Keatley.
Good morning, staff. Great to see you through the lens of a camera once again. I've just got a few things to talk about in terms of COVID updates. So you would have seen from yesterday's email that we had a positive case at the swimming pool at the swim school on Saturday. Just to keep you in the loop, anytime we find out information, when instructed by Public Health, we will communicate as soon as we can. There are some students, both boarding and day, who have had runny noses, or they've talked to the nurses. The nurses have sent them off for a test, sent them home where necessary. And that's just everyday sniffles and those kind of things. So you may have heard people talking about, oh, so-and-so's got this, so-and-so's got that. We're just following all of the advice where if a kid presents with a runny nose, they need to go to the doctor, get a test, and then stay at home. And that's what we're doing currently. We've also got some staff members who may have been close contacts of family members. They are also isolating at home and following public health advice. Because of privacy issues, we're not at liberty to talk to specifics, but just to let you know, everybody is doing what they should be doing in terms of following advice and getting tested where required. We do expect there will be cases within the school in the coming days, and we will keep you informed at all stages. As soon as we know things and we've followed through procedures, we will communicate those with you. Just a reminder that the best prevention that you can do to protect yourself is to be fully vaccinated, wear a mask, keep socially distanced where possible. It's really, really important. I can't emphasize enough how important it is you wear your mask inside, and that you encourage your students to be wearing their masks all the time when they're inside. All the medical advice indicates that that is the best protection that you can give yourself from being deemed a close contact or a casual contact. So I really cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you wear your mask and that you wear it correctly. Just to reiterate that this school is a safe place, we have got lots of things in place to protect people from the spread of COVID. If you do become aware of a case, so whether it's someone has contacted you via email or phone, whether it's a parent or the student themselves, can you please in the first instance just call the nurse, give the details of the student or parent concerned to the nurse, and the nurse will deal talking to those people and then pass it on to the COVID response team. Once you've done that, that is your job done. You don't have to go and then tell everyone else about that. Just let the process run its course and let people get on with what they need to do. If you have any health-related queries yourself, please do contact the nurses. If you want to email them, nurses@stpeters.school.nz. That's probably the best way because it's hard to get them on the phone sometimes. Booster mandates. So all staff need to have a third booster shot within 6 months of their second shot. I sent out an email before the start of the year with a link to fill in the details where you just put in your name, skip all the rest of it, go straight to the third booster shot, put in the date, and then upload your My COVID vaccine record. I'll send out an email later today just to remind you that that's the process that you need to follow. And then finally, I've had a few questions about sick leave. If I need to stay at home and look after a close contact, like a child who's been sent home from school for isolation. Just to confirm, we will be paying people for those. We will be using a mixture of sick leave and special discretionary leave, but I just want to assure you that we're not going to suddenly stop paying you if you're forced to stay at home because you're unwell with COVID or you're having to look after your dependent children. So I know that there's quite a few people who have asked those questions. Other than that, that is all from me. So I'll now hand over to Rob.
Thank you, Jared, and good morning, everyone. I've got a couple of very quick things to update you on this morning. One being the staff rep on the board, and the other being some brief information about the subdivision. So, with David Vasure's vaccination status, we've had to look at the role of staff rep on the board. I've discussed this with David, in fact, last Friday, and he's supportive of this position. So we'll be calling for nominations next week, and Julie Alexander will run the process as she did last year. So the nomination, broadly speaking, she'll send out an email with the detail on it, but broadly speaking, the nominations will be open for about a week. We'll send out bios of candidates, and you'll have a week to vote for candidates, and then we'll announce the results subsequently. The second thing, subdivision update. I updated you at our last meeting about the progress on the subdivision. So just as a reminder, there's 32 hectares on our eastern boundary that we've set aside for the subdivision. It's a two-stage subdivision. It'll take about 4 years for that development, for that residential development. So you'll see sections come to market within, I think, about 18 months. The earth-moving equipment will start moving in March this year, and we're in the process. We've fairly much inked an acquisition agreement with council, and it's been approved by the board and signed by the board and back to council for the acquisition of the land involved in roading and infrastructure. So the comms about this will be going out next Wednesday to all our stakeholders, so to parents, alumni, and so forth. So that is me. Thank you.
At this stage, we don't have any questions that have come through, so I'll just give you a few moments. If you do have any questions, Amy will be watching those. Otherwise, you can sign off and have a lovely day. Goodbye.